Familiar Wilson's Media. Relationships are the story. The following podcast uses words like and also. If you're not into any of that shit, then now's your chance.
3, 2, 1.
Run.
Super familiar with the Wilsons. Get it!
Welcome to Super Familiar with the Wilsons. I'm Amanda.
And I am Josh. We are the podcast about marriage 2.0 with kids and all the side quests. And it's interesting, Amanda, the thing that we don't really ever talk about is the marriage 2.0 part.
Yeah, we talk about kids a lot and many, many side quests.
Why don't we ever talk about this being our second marriage for both of us?
I mean, because it's still been a long time. It's 11 years this year. That feels like a long time. That's longer than I was in my first marriage, friend. So you win.
That's good. I've outlasted him. Very good. I mean, there's so many things, though, that even now, like we just had a thing where you had asked me to put together this little rolling bar caddy thing, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it was sat in the garage for a long time.
A year.
And then I noticed...
Last Mother's Day, I asked you to put it together.
I noticed last week you moved it into the house, which I thought was funny.
Why was this funny to you?
Did you think you were being subtle?
No, I brought it inside so I could put it together. I had resigned that it was not getting put together by you. So I brought it inside so I could put it together because we had copious amounts of alcohol still on the counter from my birthday party. And it was like, we got a bourbon and a brandy over there and a gin here and some other stuff on this other counter.
2 gins. No, we have 2 gins.
I know. 1 gin on one counter and 1 gin.
2 bottles of gin.
And it's the giant bottles. It's the giant bottles of Bombay. His and her gins. Anyway, so I was going to put it together so I would have a central location for all of it.
But were you pissed at me? This is what I want to know is like, did you move it in and you're like, oh, shit, okay, I'm going to have to do this because this guy just hasn't done it? Or were you like, oh, it's fine. I'll just do this because he hasn't found time to do this yet?
Well, had it not have been like 380 days since the first time that I asked you to put it together, I would have felt, oh, he hasn't found time. But I wasn't pissed. I was just resigned. This is not getting put together, so I'm going to do it. But then this morning, I pulled it out to put it together because I enjoy building things. Like, I had a whole life between my other marriage and this marriage in which I lived in 2 different places by myself, and the only thing I could afford was IKEA furniture. So I have built many a things. And then you got like annoyed that I was trying to put it together.
Well, first of all, I think we're in trouble. And these are the signs. What as you cheers me with what? Is that wine?
It's white wine because there was only a little bit left in the bottle.
940.
Well, listen, there was only
This is why I think we're in trouble. Because number one, you've never referenced your single like in between marriages life before. This is the first time you've referenced it, and now you're drinking at 9:40 in the morning. The church bells are ringing outside.
No, it's Monday. It's Memorial Day. People start drinking in the mornings when they go out on the boats and make really bad decisions in Florida. I'm at least in my house, and it was only a tiny little bit of white wine left in the bottle, and it wasn't going to fit on my bar cart, so I needed to put it in the recycling bin.
All right, well, give me some of that.
That's mine. You don't want me drinking alone at 9:40 in the morning. Please don't stage an intervention. This is not a thing that typically happens.
Anyway, I'm just checking in to make sure we're okay because, like I said, you've never referenced that part. Like I can do things. I have my own tools. I have my own screwdriver up in the closet. First of all, I never. This is like the secrets that we keep. Do you have like other things in there I need to know about? Oh, wait, never mind. Moving on.
Something that needs batteries.
No, that's good. All right, but we're fine, right? You're okay? You built your little bar cart and you feel better now?
I'm happy about my bar cart. Okay. I enjoyed it very. There's only one screw that wouldn't go in, and I thought I was going to have to call you to come do it, and I was so determined that I wasn't going to ask you to do it. Pinched the mess out of my thumb trying to get it. I finally got it in, but I was like, damn it, I'm going to have to ask for help, and I do not want to ask for help.
Okay, well, I just want to check in, make sure that we were okay, that you recovered from my egregious failure in our marriage and that we still have years of this podcast to go.
Yeah, I still like you.
Okay, very good.
I mean, I always love you, but sometimes I may not like you, but I like you right now.
Why are you making it worse?
I'm teasing. My gosh.
Okay, so let's talk about something totally different. What we intended to start talking about here is lies that parents tell.
So many. Were told to us and that we still perpetrate.
Well, that's what I wanted to get into. It's like, as parents, you kind of have to be liars sometimes.
I mean, it's a necessity, and it's like this weird thing because I grew up, right? We've talked about this. Like I grew up super religious and lying was bad. It was like one of the 10 commandments, right? To not do it.
I was going to say, thou must lie.
And like, I remember my mom would be so like anti-lying, right? And I love Bryan Adams. And I loved
Where the hell is this going?
I'm telling you, this is Bryan Adams lied to me. No, the song "Everything I Do It for You" from the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves soundtrack.
Yeah,
loved it, and I played it for her. I'm like, I love this song so much. She was like, I like it, but it says I would lie for you, and you should never lie for anybody. And so my mom would be like, lying is really, really bad. Pretty sure she lied to me frequently.
Do you think that she lied to you on purpose, or she lied to you because she was fed a line of bullshit from her parents?
Probably both. Like that she knew what I was doing because the Holy Spirit told her what I was doing when I went out.
Oh, we're not even going to talk about religious lies here. Let's just keep it
that's
on.
a lie because that wasn't happening.
Yeah, let's just keep it on this side of the parochial fence, please. Yes. Like my favorite lie that we do, because I don't know why I get such perverse pleasure out of it. It's the whole Halloween candy lie.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to the Halloween candy son.
Okay, I need you to know that our child is sitting right outside our door in the loft playing Minecraft with his friends on this little private server.
Less.
But you got to know, he'll be like, damn it, Daddy took my candy.
No, it's either we lost it or I don't know where it is or you ate it all. Listen, at some point they've got to know these children can't just have their heads so far up their ass that they think we're going to let them eat all of this candy that they get every Halloween.
They do.
You know how much candy they get? My God, it could send Uruguay into diabetic shock, this candy, just from his little bucket. And to be honest, we just simply, with the healthcare system the way it is, we can't afford that to happen.
No, it's true.
I don't know how they fool themselves that they're going to get all of this candy, especially, at some point they've got to be like, well, you lost the candy last year too, Dad.
Just keep losing my candy. We do a lot of the I don't know where that is. If you, like, I've thrown something away that he's not played with or not. I don't throw things away that are usable. I will donate them. But like if something's broken or whatever and I throw it away and then he's like, where's this thing that he hasn't looked for like months? And I'm like, I don't know where that is.
Yeah,
so,
along those lines, I've used son, the internet doesn't work right now. Now, the reason why it doesn't work is because I've unplugged it.
You used to do that to Muffy when she like wouldn't want to stop watching a show or whatever and was fussing at us and we had to leave. You just unplug the router and be like, well, it doesn't work right now. We got to go. And then she'd be mad but going. Oh, God. Also, but I mean, come on. Santa, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny.
No, but we don't do that, though.
We don't do it, but I'm saying those are lies parents tell, right? Now, Muffy did believe for a while, but then she believed in Santa. I never believed in Santa because, don't let your children listen to this podcast. I never believed in Santa because my mom would write to Mandy from Santa on presents, but in her own handwriting. So I was like, nah, this is you. I never really believed in that nonsense.
Were you ever like, Mom, are you Santa's secretary?
Right.
Do you take dictation for Santa?
Right. But Muffy believed, and then she believed in the Easter Bunny, she believed in the Tooth Fairy. And then I was like really stressed about how am I going to like disillusion her of this. And then she went for a sleepover with her really good friend who just told her everything was not true. And she came home saying, Mom, I learned this, and this are all not true on this sleepover. And so it was a rough day when she came home, but then we were done with it. So I was appreciative.
What is your opinion on sleepovers? Because I saw a thing on social media the other day talking about how just nothing good happens at sleepovers, especially with younger kids. What do you think about that? And this, I'm not meaning to go into the super serious vein that this social media post went into. I'm just saying in general, I don't think that there's much use to sleepovers.
I don't have experience with Muffy doing sleepovers other than with her best friend when she was little. And that's a mom that I'm very close to and that they were fine. And you and I benefited because she'd go over there and spend the night when we were dating. So we would have nights to ourselves. That was fine. I've had to get her from sleepovers. I've gone at 2:00 in the morning to get her from a sleepover that was a middle school sleepover where they were not being kind to each other. I don't remember that from sleepovers when I was younger. I didn't sleep over anywhere until 5th grade because I did not want to be away from my parents. But I remember we would somebody would fall asleep first, you'd take their bra and like wet it and then put it in the freezer. Or like put mustard on it and then put it in the freezer. Like we were not kind to each other's things, but we weren't mean to each other's hearts.
God, I remember that there was this one really naughty movie about the mustard bra.
Really?
No.
Oh.
I guess I had really bad friends or just really bad influences friends because we would always go outside way too late and shoot bottle rockets across a busy street and mess with people's houses and stuff. And I'm talking about
not good, friend.
talking about in middle school here, like slightly naughty fun in the 80s type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Did you find like did you do the thing where you could flip between the channel really quickly and see the naked ladies?
No, that was at home. This is a different conversation. We had the big satellite dish, and yes.
I did learn on a sleepover in like 5th or 6th grade about sex because my parents had not talked to me about it yet. And my friend...
5th or 6th grade?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, we don't talk about it. It doesn't exist was my family's rule. And my friend knew where her dad's Playboys were.
Oh.
Now, mind you, really like important person in our church, but she knew where his Playboys were and then she showed them to me and then had to explain to me what happened. I was very upset going home the next day.
Did you talk to anyone about it?
No, I'm talking to you about it right now. I never told. I mean, like I've told that story before, but not ever to my parents. Gross.
The lie of like trying to protect them, like these shots won't hurt.
No, I've never said that the shots won't hurt because that's not true. Because I remember, do you not remember getting shots when you were little? You got allergy shots all the time.
I got
right?
shots every week, and so I was used to them from when I was a little bitty child. Like,
yeah.
I don't remember the first time I got shots because, like you said, it was probably more often than once a week. But then by the time I was a teenager, it was one every Saturday morning. Go to Dr. Meise's office, and the old battle axe behind the counter, Beverly, would give me my shot, and then that would be that.
It's for allergies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember my pediatrician's office was on a lake, and when you could lay there on the little thing, there was a window and you could look out at the lake. So my mom would always tell me,
this sounds so tragic and traumatic. I would just sit there and stare out into the lake.
Yes, no. So I would be freaking out about the shots, and my mom would say, "Just."
Is this why you don't like to go on the water though now?
No, that's because I got stung by jellyfish. I like to go. Always get this wrong. I like to go on the water, not in the water. Anyway, my mom would tell me to look at the swans and the ducks and like focus on them. And
God, that is so horrific. It's like a movie starring Scarlett Johansson where she has a Russian accent. It's terrible.
Yeah. So then now I like associated that for the rest of my like childhood, associated those ducks and swans with pain. It was very, very bad. Muffy, when she was little, it used to take like the doctor, the nurse, and me to hold her down. Like she got really like stressed about these shots. Now, Winthrop, I have to think about what his actual name was. Winthrop, they now have a thing called shot blockers that they use. Have you seen these things?
No.
They're like a square and they have prongs, like plastic prongs, and they push it on your skin and then there's a hole in the middle and they give the shot in the middle of it.
Right.
And because of the other pressure, our children swear they don't feel it anymore. Like it's not this big of a deal anymore because of these shot blockers.
Why have I never heard of this?
Because you don't go to the pediatrician when they get shots. But anyway, it's a thing. So I've never told the children that the shots aren't going to hurt because that's not true. But you know what I have said, and I caught myself saying this morning, which was just a flat out lie. Mom, are you watching? Yes. Because no, I'm not. I'm not watching you play that game on I'm not watching you do the 750th run of Geometry Dash. I'm not. Because I've seen it many, many times. I'm whispering because he's right outside the door. No, I'm not watching you. Yes, I'm watching you. But no, I'm not. Because it is not fun for me to sit and it is not a spectator sport.
It is really, really difficult for me. And it's a problem that I know I have to fix. It's really difficult for me to get into these video games that he's into. Mm-hmm. And I know that, you know, it's important for me to show interest in the things that he does. But my God, I freaking hate them so much. He made me play one the other day. And I was like, I have to do this for my kid because I love him. But I literally wanted to jump off of a tall thing. It was terrible. I was miserable. And also, he beat me.
No, I know.
And I think he was cheating.
No, you can't cheat. I played this game with him too. Is it where you were playing on your phone and he was playing on the computer?
Yes, I hated it.
It's a school. It's a game. It's a school game. Like
I'm
it's
so
from
angry
his
at
school
school.
account.
I'm angry at school for doing this.
I play it with him. It doesn't bother me.
Oh, it bothers. Now, if I start to, but see, that's the thing. Because I was about to say, if I start to win, then it's okay. But I can't win. I can't win because then his little mind will just crash. He hates losing, and he hates losing to me.
Yes. But you also hate losing to him. So
Yeah.
it's a symbiotic relationship.
love
I don't
that.
care. I beat him sometimes. I lose sometimes. He and I are fine. Muffy tried to play with him the other day because I couldn't. I was making dinner and she lost her mind and was like, I cannot do this. Apparently, I am the only person in this house that I can play for like 30 minutes and be fine.
Well,
These
heavy
games
is the
don't-
mantle that you bear, but
Also, another lie that we tell as parents, we'll do that someday. We'll go someday.
no, listen, this family has really screwed that up because of you.
Hey.
Because you instituted we'll do that when you're 13, right? Because I think that you feel bad about saying someday. You want to give it a definite end date so that they feel like I have something to look forward to. But then 13 comes along and we're like, no, 15. We've changed it. We've moved the goalposts. This is a thing that you do.
What did I say that we do when they were 13?
Oh, I don't remember because you've said it so many. You said it to Muffy about something or another.
No, it was when she was 10. And it's because she was asking questions of like, where do babies come from and stuff. And I'm like, we'll tell you when you're 10, right? And then she got to 10 and said, I don't really want to know yet. Like, because she had a little brother. Like, we had just had Winthrop. And she was like, I don't want to know. And so I think Winthrop was maybe less than a year old when we finally told her.
We fumbled that.
That was so bad.
It was so bad. Why did we feel like it was necessary? I'm trying to climb back into our minds. Why did we feel like it was necessary to tell our daughter about sex in the middle of a pizza restaurant as she was just finished with dancing on Valentine's Day as well?
Because she asked. I don't know. And you're generous in saying we because it was 100% me. It was not you. I did not consult you. I just did it. She asked something about animals. And then I said, do you really want to know? And she said yes. And so I told her, and then she started crying at the table. It was really bad. She's still mad at me about it. And that's like 8 years later.
Yeah, that was a big fumble.
But my parents never told me. Did your dad
don't do
have that conversation with you?
No, we've done this. He bought me encyclopedias, the Life Cycle Encyclopedia, and it was a series of like 14 books, and like I think book number 12 like dealt with the whole, the sex and babies and all this and that. So yeah, that.
Did you go to him with questions?
Did I go with? First of all, he was a single guy and had always been a single guy.
Mm-hmm.
Not certain what he could have answered, to be honest.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, all right, we're gonna do that someday. I don't know where that is. I don't know where all your candy went. Yes, I'm watching you. Are you listening? Yes, I'm listening. I have no idea what you just said because you've said the same thing like 700 times. What else do you lie about? Because you wanted to do this based on something that happened yesterday.
No, it's not something that happened yesterday. It's something I realized yesterday when I just started thinking about this idea of lying. We lie to Muffy. It's a lie of omission, but...
Don't tell the story. Please don't tell the story. It's so embarrassing.
What story do you think I'm going to tell?
What we did for dinner last night?
No, I wasn't going to tell that story, but...
But now you are?
Now I am. No, what I was going to tell is the fact that I really enjoy me some cashews and some pecans and other things, and she is extremely allergic to those things. And so sometimes I will have them at the top of the pantry in the house. I want to make it very clear that I wash my hands very carefully.
Yeah.
I don't get it on anything, but I like myself some pecans. No, the thing, I'm not even embarrassed about what happened yesterday.
I am.
Why
that
are
is
you?
a step in the wrong direction.
So I've been craving a hamburger for the last 2 or 3 days. And 2 days ago, we went to the aforementioned pizza place where we sprung the news to Muffy about how babies happen. You had convinced me or assured me that they had this great hamburger there.
They had a great black and blue hamburger.
It's the only reason I wanted to go there, and they didn't have the damn
Apparently,
hamburger.
it's no longer a thing on their menu.
And it's a weird thing. I'm finding a lot of restaurants that used to have hamburgers don't have hamburgers anymore.
Why do we think that is? Is it
I don't
because
know.
beef is more expensive?
I don't know, but it was this pizza place, and then we went to a chicken place that used to have a great hamburger.
They had a great hamburger.
Maybe they're just like really intensely focusing on the thing that they're about.
Yeah.
And also we have hamburgers. So yesterday we spent the day at a party, got all hot and sweaty because it was outside. We went and we jumped in the pool here in the neighborhood. We got home, we put on our pajamas, settled down to be in for the rest of the night. And at that point, the cravings for the burgers returned, and we were looking for options of places that we wouldn't have to get out of the car. We decided to jump in the car and go have Sonic drive-thru. And the thing that you're embarrassed about is that we went out in our jammas to a drive-thru and we did not tell our children.
We told them we were running an errand.
We did not tell our children that.
To which Winthrop said, "What's an errand?" And you said, "We're going to a store." The hamburger store.
The hamburger store. But you're embarrassed by the fact that we, as adults, we wanted to have hamburgers and we didn't want to tell our kids. And so we snuck it up into our bedroom and ate the hamburgers.
Yes, because that's hiding food. And I feel like that's the beginning of like some sort of like eating disorder.
We didn't hide it from each other. We're holding each other accountable, or in this case, like whatever the opposite of holding each other accountable is. But it's not an eating disorder.
Sat in our bed and ate our
Unless
burgers.
Eating burgers in bed is an eating disorder, then yes, guilty. We have that.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought you were gonna say. The lie of omission is that we just didn't tell our children we went to get burgers.
That's fine. They don't listen to this anyway, nor do any of their friends. But let's talk about a couple of lies that we tell to ourselves.
Okay.
As parents, because I wrote down 2 of these. Number 1, I won't parent like my parents did. Well, that's pretty unavoidable. Now, I will say that I was raised by an extremely unemotionally available person. Actually, that's not quite true, but the only emotions that were available to me were anger and frustration. So I parent the opposite of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very emotionally available to the kids, but I find myself getting impatient the exact same way that he did. Like, I don't know if that's just ingrained and I got to fight against it, but I do not have patience for what I, in the moment, deemed to be nonsense. And then when I look back on it, I'm like, well, no, this is your child who needs something and doesn't know how to express it. But that initial impatience, boy, that ain't me. Or it is me, but that didn't come from me. That came from him.
That's his legacy. I'm sorry. I don't know. I mean, the thing that I don't do is I don't religiously guilt my children, and I don't spank them. And those were the things that happened to me. But I also, in this weird way, like my mom was such a caring, loving, giving, generous person. And I try to emulate that because, it's like the thing about be the thing that you loved best about the people who are no longer here. Yeah. And I'm trying very hard to do that. And I know, like, I will buy gifts and like just whatever, for whatever reason. And I know it kind of, you're like, stop buying things. But I mean, and it's not like this expensive things, but to me, it was the thing, like, I would come home from school and there would be like a new dress on my bed. Mom's like, I was out, I saw this, I thought of you. And that to me is so special. Just there's no occasion, I just thought of you. And I like to do that for the people that I love.
I mean, that's why I text you so often, because I'm thinking of you, and so there I text you. And that has the virtue of, like, not costing as much as a dress costs, so win-win.
Yeah, but we still have the cell phone bill to pay for.
Well, there you go. See, I am spending a lot of money on you then.
Thank you.
Another lie that I told myself as a parent that I'm trying to get away from is we won't ever use screen time as a babysitter.
Oh, Lord, it's so hard, though.
We say as our child literally is outside of our door right now playing Minecraft.
Well, but it's kind of nice, though, because with him being the youngest significantly by 10 years, it doesn't have kids his age to play with. He keeps asking me for a baby sister. I'm like, but no. But also by the time that one was old enough for you to play with, you would not be wanting to play with this baby child. So, and we don't let him play with people online because of safety reasons. That's not a thing.
Right, yeah.
So somebody from my work who also has 2 kids around his age has set up a secure server for Minecraft, and they just play the 3 of them together. It's very cute. They get on FaceTime and with like one of our old phones and talk to each other and play. And so it's like he's building a little bit of friendship too. And I think it's hard for us because that is not how we built friendship. Like screens and digital things weren't a way in the 80s and 90s. And so now we look at it and say that's not real connection, but I don't know that we can say that. I think that's coming from our personal experience and bias.
Yeah, I don't think it's real connection, but I understand your point.
Oh my God, could you just think it through for a second?
I will later.
What is it about being in person with someone versus like just being able to hear their voice?
Oh, it's so much. There's so much happens non-verbally in communication. So much.
So you're telling me that people who are seeing impaired don't build connection? If they can't see the people?
Okay, okay. Devil's advocate. Let me make my point before you knock it
Okay.
down. Okay. So you've got facial expression. You've got even little micro expressions, right? They've got posture, tone of voice. You've got just being in the same space as someone and that energy that you get. And really not having all of those things, I think it makes it a lot easier to objectify, to not see the person or perceive the person as a complete human being when it's just the voice or when it's just text or when it's just whatever.
All right, I will give you the energy in the room, but I am not willing to say that, if you can't see facial expressions, or I do think those are helpful. They're on FaceTime. They can see each other.
Okay, but see, you're just saying that seeing is the only sentence, right? No, it's
not what I said.
No, you are though. You are because the people who can't see, then you can still have physical touch, right? Which is very important.
Okay.
You don't have that. Smell, very important. And by the way, I'm not saying that he mustn't have these interactions. And also, he has all of his senses. I don't know why you're bringing this straw man to this argument. I think it's healthier for him to have more in-person interactions than he has online interactions. And I think in general that is so.
I agree with that as well. But I'm just saying that this is better than him just sitting there watching people on YouTube play these games. He is creating with other people and building connections that way.
Yeah. But I mean, we don't have just those two choices.
No, he played with people in person at the playground yesterday, and he played with people at the pool.
Yes, there you go. So what are the lies that you tell yourself as parents or even just as people, as human beings? Email us at familiarwilsons@gmail.com. And for some reason, Amanda has now put her head inside of her shirt like a turtle trying to escape.
No, it's because I'm having a hot flash. I'm blowing down into my shirt to get some air circulating. So damn hot.
Pocket watch, ticking, constricting coat and vest, marking moments, sparking movement, making minutes, never giving rest, marble floor, receiving every... It's Festhole time. Festhole is an account that I follow on Threads, and it's basically people making anonymous confessions, and this is the parent edition, so I want to get your...
Oh, good.
Yeah, so I want to get your input on these.
It's going to make me feel better about myself or worse about myself?
Well, let's see. The first one goes, a little bit of alcohol makes me a better parent. Sober, can't deal with their bullshit. 2 drinks in, hell yeah, my dude. That unreasonableness is funny. Let's riff on that.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Well, I mean, we are of the age that when we have more than one drink, we just get tired. So I don't think that might have been the case at one point in time. I no longer feel like it's the case. What do you think?
Is alcohol starting to lose its effect on you?
It is.
I just think that means that you need to go without for a week and then you got to reset your tolerance.
No, because I feel it the next day. So it's not like it hasn't affected me. It just no longer, I don't think I metabolize it correctly anymore.
Oh, well, what's happened? We need to start walking again so that we can handle our booze correctly.
Yeah, that's right. We need to get healthy so that we can drink. That sounds good.
I do often think that children present themselves as if they're drunk. They say stuff that doesn't make sense, and actually, the younger they are, the drunker they seem to me because
toddlers are just drunk people.
They can't walk and they can't talk right. That is just a drunk, and it's not fair that it's funny in toddlers and not funny in a 45-year-old man. But still,
yeah. But if I gotta tell a guy to put his shoes on like 50 times before we can get out of the door, and he's just laying there being like, "I don't like my shoes. I don't want my shoes. Where are my shoes?" I don't have patience for his 45-year-old ass.
Okay, let's do the next one. No one warns you, but raising children is terrible for your health.
That is true. We did an episode on that.
I had nearly 20 years of booze, drugs, and partying under my belt when my son was born, but physically and mentally I was still in pretty good shape. But after 5 years of clean and sober parenting, I'm a wreck. It all has to do with sleep, my friends. It all goes back to sleep. What is the lesson here? Get your damn sleep before you have kids, because then you will never sleep right again. I can't sleep in anymore.
Even though our child is now sleeping. He slept till almost 8 o'clock this morning.
No, me? 5:30.
Yeah.
5:30, which does my head in on work days because the alarm is supposed to go off at 6. Actually, on work days, I usually wake up at 3:30, and sometimes I go back to sleep and sometimes I don't. On days off, it's kind of delightful because I wake up, I go downstairs, I will make tea or coffee.
You made eggs this morning.
I made eggs this morning, and I'll just chill and just enjoy my... That's fine. I love that, but not when I'm working.
You're turning into my dad.
Okay.
My dad would fall asleep in the chair watching TV and then wake up at like 4, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Didn't he have an outside sleeping chair?
Yeah, because my mom wouldn't let him smoke in the house. My dad grew up on a tobacco farm, so he was a lifetime smoker. And my mom would not let him smoke in the house, so he carpeted the back porch. It was still just screened in. It had a lazy boy and cable TV out there. He slept out there.
Did he? Like, often?
Every night
God, in
until they
Florida.
got divorced. Every night until
he
they got
must have
divorced.
stank, though, because of sweating and all this.
I don't know. I wasn't up in that business, so I don't know. But then when he moved to his own place and she moved to her own place, I don't know what he did.
He still had an outdoor chair because I visited, and he...
Yeah, he would smoke outside,
Yeah.
but I don't think he smoked inside. But yeah, no, he would always just fall asleep watching TV, and you do the same thing in our bed, though. And I know it so well because we'll be watching something and then you'll take your glasses off and turn over and like face me, but on your side. And I'll say goodnight. No, I'm not going to sleep. I'm just listening. And within 30 seconds, you were snoring. And then I'm just in this room. You're in the bed snoring and the dog is in the chair next to me snoring. And everybody is just around me snoring and I'm still wide awake. So
you need to get earplugs. That's all that is.
Okay.
All right, last one. Daughter's room was horrific. Clothes, food, mugs, etc. strewn about. Told her she'd get mice. She didn't believe me. So I went on Amazon and bought 100 grams of black rice, chucked a teaspoon in there when she was out. It's much tidier now.
Mouse droppings.
Yeah.
I thought the Joker actually went and bought mice.
No, he bought black rice and he made her think.
That's kind of smart, though.
That's very smart. Yep, I love it.
Do you remember when Muffy was little? This is before we had Winthrop, and a frog got in her closet.
Yeah.
And she was terrified and wouldn't sleep in her room
Yep.
because she was terrified this frog was going to jump on her. And you were in there for like 2 hours trying to find this frog, and you came out with a cup and like it on your hand and swore up and down that the frog was in there, but you wouldn't let her see it because you said you didn't want it to escape. Did you really find the frog?
No, that was a lie that parents tell. I just wanted to go to sleep. All right, so there you go.
What lies do you tell your children?
No, we're past that. We're in
What
the next
lies
segment.
do you tell yourself?
We're in the next segment, friend. We're on the festival.
What are your confessions about parenting you need to tell us?
familiarwilsons@gmail.com. It's time we revisit the idea of Bubbe Meise. You remember this?
Isn't it like Yiddish sayings?
It's old grandma's tales
That's
or
it.
superstitions.
Yes,
and
yes.
growing up in Miami, I was surrounded by
Don't go outside with your hair wet. You're going to catch a cold.
don't swim at least until an hour after you've eaten.
Yes.
All these things.
That Mythbusters is busted.
Yeah. But I did a little thinking, and I came up with Bubbe Meise of the future.
Oh, okay.
And so these are things that we will hear in 20, 30, 40 years when 50 years maybe, when this generation that's coming up now are grandparents, right? For example, if you say, I don't really care about politics, your Roomba will only clean the right side of your house.
Your brain is an interesting place.
If you skip too many YouTube ads, a tech bro loses his Patagonia vest. If you say the word self-care 3 times in a row, Gwyneth Paltrow appears to try to sell you a vagina candle.
No.
If you use your phone while it's charging, you will suddenly hate brunch. If you order food delivery 3 times in one day, your great-grandmother appears in the doorway with her magic ladle to curse your legs so that you forget how to stand.
These are really specific, friend.
Every time you skip a Billie Eilish song, your emotional depth shrinks by half a mood ring.
A mood ring.
And then if you scroll past a sea turtle post without liking it, you must send Greta Thunberg a handwritten apology on a vegan taco.
Listen, there is some real stuff going on right now with the people like, you need to repost this because, you know, all the bad things all the puppies are going to die and all this. Like it's a loop that Muffy gets caught in, and it's not good.
Well, there you go. So there's some Bubbe Meise from the future. It's time for our mailbag, and in this mailbag, we will include a Refined Gay Thoughts from Refined Gay Jeff. Jeff says to us, Happy belated birthday, Amanda. I'm sorry I couldn't send a video of birthday wishes and advice last week, but I had a mishap with my phone and was not able to. In a freak accident, I dropped my phone outside by the pool, and then in Murphy's Law fashion, a very large rock immediately fell on it and shattered the screen, rendering it useless. Where did this
How
rock...
did this rock
Did
just
it fall from the sky? Well, you are in Texas, which weird things happen in Texas. He says it's been completely repaired now, but hell hath no fury, like a gay man mildly inconvenienced. And then, of course, he sent us a video anyway the next night from the ripcord.
Which I loved with my whole heart.
No, it was really, really good. Amanda, I need to tell you the story of the reserve sign that I made. In a previous episode, Amanda talked about perimenopause being when your ovaries left your body and went to a tavern, right? That's basically yes.
It was basically a Shakespearean way of explaining perimenopause. And so it was, in menopause is when 9 ovaries have left your body and have retired to a tavern 2 towns away.
So Jeff, in the video that he sent to Amanda from his gay bar of choice,
for my 50th birthday,
sent a picture of a sign that he had printed and put on a chair saying reserved for Amanda's ovaries, right?
So good. So good.
He said everyone wanted to know who Amanda was and why her ovaries were not still attached within her body. And then it was incumbent upon me to relay your story. So now everyone at the Ripcord is supporting you on your perimenopause journey and is reserving space for your ovaries.
I love that. I can't wait to go to Houston and meet all of my ovary supporters.
We may even have a party. Jeff, you absolutely better have told them to listen to the podcast. I better see a bunch of downloads from Houston all of a sudden. Gay men love to have a reason to celebrate and can do it with style and aplomb. You know some men are meant to fertilize eggs, but gay men can only paint them for Easter. So he said he got sidetracked. I printed your reserve sign out at work, but I ran out of toner from my printer in my library, so I had to send it to one of the other printers in the building. We have this thing that allows us to send print jobs to other locations, and you can print from any printer after you scan in that building. Well, imagine my surprise when I went to go pick up your reserve sign and it never came through.
Oh.
It was attached to something else I was printing and was like the 3rd or 4th page. All my other stuff printed out, but not your reserve sign, which means it was maybe sent to another location instead or is still floating around in cyberspace somewhere. It's possible that a reserve for Amanda's ovary sign ended up in some teacher's printouts for classroom worksheets.
I really hope so, Jeff. I hope so much.
If it shows up somewhere in the building, I'll be sure to let you know.
Yes, please.
So he's dedicating all of his thoughts this week to your ovaries.
Jeff, as a former teacher who could never make things print, I would be so happy to learn that showed up in like the band director's like music for the next thing. Oh my God, so happy.
So we also have a letter from our friend Monique in Germany. Okay, so first of all, there's this title that she says, Amanda something Deutschland, right?
So it's all in German.
Yes,
I believe it says happy birthday from Germany.
Probably, but it says Herrlichen Glücksfans zum Geburtstag aus Deutschland.
How is that, Monique?
I know.
How
Well,
is Josh's
this is
German?
what she says. She says, happy birthday, Amanda. I wish you health, happiness, and a steady supply of drinks. And Josh, good luck pronouncing the subject line. Okay. First of all, if I said something naughty, I apologize, right? In my attempt to say that. So Monique goes on, you asked about birthday parties. Sorry, wrong person to ask. My husband and I both do not like being among lots of people at the same time and feel that when there's a large group, you're only there for the catering and in the end have hardly spoken to any of them. We have not hosted a large party for our own birthday since we were students and prefer to celebrate by going out for a nice dinner, which is lovely. And of course, eat cake. You cannot have a birthday without cake. Friends and family, of course, are always welcome to visit, but preferably one couple or family at a time.
One at a time. You need a turnstile, Monique. Do you know what that is? Like when you're walking into a concert venue or something and the thing, or even like to the metro or the subway and the thing will open and shut and not let you in. This is what you need. So like one couple at a time can come into your home.
She says, because we live several hours away from most of them, they usually stay the weekend or longer. Always lots of fun because no one is in a hurry. We can drink as much as we like. Plus, we get to celebrate several times and even eat more cake.
That's nice. That's a lovely thing. And thank you, Monique, for the birthday wishes.
From what I observed, my German neighbors tend to celebrate birthdays with small groups of close family and friends, some just coming for coffee in the morning, others for a beer in the afternoon or evening. The round numbers such as 50, 60, etc. are usually celebrated in a larger way, often with a garden party or barbecue or meeting at a restaurant.
I want a garden party.
So we talked also about changing names, right? When
Yes.
you're married. That was one of the things we talked about. Monique says this, as for changing names, I agree with Amanda that it really should be easier. I also chose to take my husband's name, changed it everywhere, and was astonished that about a decade later, the bank decided that women should use their maiden name and changed it back.
What?
I don't know
That's
about
just
that.
very arbitrary of the Bank of Germany. But yes, Monique, it is quite a pain to try to change your name. I'm so sorry that happened to you twice.
Well, wait, it goes on. She says, the company I used to work for even decided that all women got email accounts on their maiden name because they could not be bothered by changing them when one married or divorced. Of course, that did not go down very well. In the end, they had to abandon that plan. And don't get me started on using your passport as identification. My Dutch passport used to state my maiden name, and underneath that, an additional line with married to, name. Okay, understandable. All official items are covered. Now, when renewing your passport, your married name is left out unless you specifically request for it to be included, and then it's printed on a different page so nobody can find it until you point it out.
Seems unnecessarily complicated.
Yes. Germany is more traditional than the Netherlands, so only using your married name is quite common. Example, let's say that my full name is Sandra Monique Smith and I'm married to Mr. Jones. So officially that makes me Sandra Monique Jones Smith, and in daily life I use Monique Jones, which, by the way, not her real name. But my passport shows Smith unless you know where to look. Picking up parcels at the post office just got a lot more difficult.
I can't imagine trying to go in and out of customs.
Yes, and then she, of course, congratulates Muffy on her graduation,
Thank you.
graduating college before high school, which is fun. And there you go. Thank you, Monique,
Thank
for
you, Monique.
that
That's very kind.
insight. And then we have one more, because I asked folks, what's the party scene where you are? So we got an email from England. Hi, Wilsons. I thought I'd reach out to provide some feedback on the party scene in jolly old England. Whilst I can't speak for everyone, I tell you that I've been going to a lot more parties recently. They're kind of kept on the down low, so much so that we often wear masks to hide our identity.
No, you're so full of it.
Everyone is very welcoming, though, and we pop our keys in a bowl and just have a
Oh my
really
God.
nice time. If I've learned one thing from these parties, it's always rubber up. Kindest regards, Dan Belson.
I mean, Dan Belson, doesn't rubber mean like eraser in your land? So I don't think that you mean condoms. I really wish that I could believe anything he ever says, and I can't.
No, I believe this bit.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Did he meet all of these key party people on Tinder?
I don't know.
I just- the
Any
whole-
of the hundreds of dating apps that this gentleman is on.
The
Love
whole
him.
point was that people are not hosting gatherings nearly the amount of that we were pre-pandemic. So we were just wanting to know. None of that was helpful. Thank you, though, Dan.
Oh, good luck, Dan, and make sure to rubber up.
We'll make sure to invite you to our next masked key party.
We should invite Gavin to the mass key party and just have him hold the pole. All right, Amanda, that's all there is. There is no more. We are on our way to another graduation party, so that should be fun.
I'm looking forward to it. We're celebrating all of Muffy's friends and their various graduations as well. So,
Well, we're going to someone's house who I assume and hope has plenty of alcohol on offer. So,
I don't know. You might want a pregame.
okay, well, good. I'm not driving. Not it. Of course, this podcast would not be possible without the contributions of the following people. We'd like to thank Antonio for plausible deniability, Josh Scar for the alibis, Danny Buckets for the fishtails, Chicken Tom for faking the moon landing, Monique for the believable backstories, Joey, Leo for the whispered rumors, Refined Gay Jeff for the elegant exaggerations, Mark and Rachel for the selective memory, and Dan and Gavin for the lies we tell ourselves. All right, folks, until next week, y'all go and be the best that you can be.
You don't sound very convinced about that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Are you tired now?
Yeah.
Well, because you've been up since 5. All right, friends, look, whatever you go do, be careful, take an Uber, don't put your keys in a bowl,
Rubber up.
and go be kind.
Bye.
Bye.